Let's get it. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. What exactly do you represent? What do you represent every day? What do you give off? What is it about you that is going to attract the right people into your world? All right. And I have a ton of examples on this, but more specifically, seeing that I'm recording this October 2nd, 2024, we're in the middle of, especially like in the NFL world, the people that keep up with the NFL and football and all that, we're in the middle of Crucial Catch, which is Cancer Awareness Month. And if you can recall, about a little over a decade ago, a lot of the players throughout this month, were wearing pink. And, it was like this big Wear Pink campaign and all that kind of stuff. And everything was about cancer awareness and spreading light and spreading joy and, raising not only raising awareness, but also raising money for this disease that has affected everybody in the world. It's in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Around that time, actually, is when I lost my grandmother to breast cancer. And I remember actually when my mother was watching the games, we were kind of having that dialogue about how they were wearing pink and all that kind of stuff. And I'm bringing this up specifically because, and I have a lot more on this, so I'll probably have to do a deeper dive into it, a longer episode, and most likely a written article about it, because it extends to not just cancer, but also all the other horrific things that can happen to a person. And the horrific, whether it's disease or circumstances that a person may be living with. I actually lived through a couple examples of this past weekend, so I'll probably have to do a longer episode. But I want to get specific for a second here, because it was this past Sunday. I was watching some NFL football at Duffy's, watching the Commanders tap some of that Arizona Cardinal ass. I enjoyed watching it, but I've learned not to get too excited, like I was telling you guys before. But they are looking good. So I'm watching that game, and there's this lady that comes and sits right next to me at the bar. Total stranger, sits right next to me at the bar, and we kind of strike up a conversation. And eventually, she tells me, she's fresh off cancer. She just survived it. She's now remission free and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as she said it, it hit a different chord with me. Not only because of I lost my grandmother to cancer, but also there's been multiple to the point where there's so many different cancer survivors that have been on the Move Swiftly podcast that I've had the fortunate opportunity of connecting with and listening to their stories and having their stories out there for people to consume and all that. And one of the things that she tells me, as we're just kind of having this conversation at the bar, she goes, "Look, I showed her this." I'm like, "Yeah, I wear it every day," because we were talking about, the Wear Pink and the Crucial campaign and all that, Crucial Catch campaign. And I showed her this, and she goes, "Yeah, that's actually the first thing I noticed about it." And when she sat down and we got to really talking about how she survived it, or what it's all about, she mentioned that she was giving me her entire story. And again, because I'm a podcast host and I've become a natural at this, I'm always willing to listen to stuff like that. I have such a deep, profound respect for people who have gone through stuff like this, not only because of the strength that it shows in them, but also when it comes to what my personal goals was to work for an NFL franchise before I turned 30, and I didn't realize that there was a portion of NFL franchise, there was a department, there was a side to all NFL franchises in which cater to the needs of their community. They use the platform that they have to help the community, raise money, all that sorts of stuff, because obviously the national media is always talking about the W's, the wins, the losses, and all that, but very few national mainstream media, if any, are going to be really expressing the stories in which they're helping the community, they're solving the community's problems. And that's where I was able to find my lane. That's where I was able to find my role in doing the things to fill in that need that the national media is just simply not covering, because it doesn't gain enough likes or clicks and all that other bullshit, all that vanity metrics that is going to lead to more advertising dollars and all that. I get it. That's the game. That's just the way the business is run, right? So, I'm catching up with this lady, and she was telling me about how she was surviving, how she survived her breast cancer. She survived it. And no, it wasn't breast cancer. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the throat. I think it was in the throat. It wasn't a form of breast cancer, but it was a form of cancer that she survived. And she was telling me how she did it and how she was able to take off work and, what she was able to do and all that kind of stuff. And then she mentioned where she went. Which is the Sylvester Cancer Research Center out in Miami. The University of Miami has their own cancer research center. And I immediately got to talking to her about the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, which is the #1 fundraiser in the NFL. And I was explaining to her how the millions and millions of dollars that we raise every single day, again, because I used to be a part of the fundraising team and the foundation and all that. I was really heavily involved in that stuff. And I was telling her how all the money actually goes to that same cancer center that you just mentioned. And then she was just like, wow, and awe and stuff like that. And not only that, but I also mentioned, because we're doing this while we're watching NFL football, I'd also mentioned how the whole wear pink crucial catch thing had gotten started, which was actually, it was started by Dan Snyder's wife, Tanya Snyder, who is a survivor, and then she was able to connect with her sorority, and then you had the whole NFL wearing pink and bringing this awareness and all that kind of stuff. And I say all that, I'm making sure I'm explaining all that to you guys, so you understand. It goes back to a lot of what I explained to you to start off today's video, which is, who are you attracting into your world? How are you attracting them into your world? What are the signs? What are the things that you're bringing, that you're doing regularly? Again, this is something that I have on every single day. I had no idea it was going to bring in a person like this into my world, and then ultimately end up gaining, friendship. And, I would send her to my podcast, and, she could tune in whenever it is she wants. And, I remember actually when I left, she looked at me, she goes, "Congrats on the pod. Sure, it's a great show." And you just felt a great connection between two people because of the ability to share your heart, share the things that are important to you, and the courage. I don't want to call it ability. It's more so the courage to share the things that are difficult for people to share and then move forward. That's what building community is all about. That's how I'm able to continue to give you this perspective on teamwork every single day. That's how I'm able to move forward every single day. It's not as one up here every single day. I know it may feel like it to a regular consumer, but to be honest, there's a lot of people that I've had the pleasure and the fortunate opportunity of connecting with that have taught me a lot of different things, given me the perspective that makes it so I don't have I do not, period, have absolutely no excuse not to continue to work, not continue to put it all out there, not continue to, represent a lot of the things that people are going through, the courageous things that people are doing, and speak on the courageous things that people are doing. So, the young people see that and they're able to move forward. The young people see that and they say, you know what, because of that woman's story, because of this story, because of that happened, I'm not going to give up today. I'm not going to go back into the round. I'm not going to throw this pity party. I'm not going to have this victim mentality, all those sorts of things. And that's what the role is all about. All right. So like I said, there's a ton more I have on this, because this was one of several situations that actually happened this weekend that were kind of similar. So I'll have to, do a longer episode and, make sure I have it written down and all that good stuff. So all that being said, the main website to check out to dive deeper into my work, it's makeyamove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. If you are a business owner listening to me, if you have a staff of 20 or more employees and you need help on how to use innovative teamwork to make it so you reduce that turnover on your staff, go to freeguide.makeitmove.com. Put your information in. I'll send you over I'll send you over a PDF that has the 10 tips to use that you can be using right now to make it so your staff reduces that turnover and you keep a cohesive unit in your organization and you don't have to worry about a lot of those issues. Again, the website is freeguide.makeitmove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.